Hello and welcome once again to the Gamecocks Football Captain's Log. I'm your host, Brandon Silvers. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, the captain over at Morris Island Charters, Captain Petey. Captain Petey, how are you doing?
Feeling good.
Cannot believe it.
Yeah.
Cannot believe it. A game that we almost certainly would have lost 99 times out of 100, if not 100 times out of 100 in the past.
Yes.
We pulled it off against Mizzou. 5 touchdown passes, Lenora Sellers. What's going on?
I for some reason we have figured out how to run a 2-minute offense. And when we try to, we like to try and blow games, but we had a 2-minute drive to end the half, and then a 2-minute drive to win the game. And in no circumstances would that have ever happened under any coach we've ever had, except for Spurrier.
Yeah,
even when we tried to do it with him, it was not done consistently. But this has been.
Especially, like we talked about it, Mizzou is just one of those teams that has just always ruined our lives.
Yeah.
And it looked like that was going to happen again.
Absolutely.
Except it didn't.
By a miracle, we decided to start passing the ball again and letting our players do what. We went back to what was working. What was working in the second half, or in the first half, we got away from it and tried to run the ball a lot. Obviously, I get some of that because we had a lead and we have Ace. I mean, I keep wanting to call him Rocket Sanders.
That's how you know you're a true Gamecock fan. Going back to Ace Sanders.
Yeah. I always want to call him Ace. It's just habit. But, I mean, we completely forgot how to run the ball in the second half, and it almost came back to bite us royally.
Yeah. I was watching the game at someone else's home in the presence of a small child, and the fourth quarter came, and I said, I've got to leave, because if I don't, while I watch this game, your child is going to learn a bunch of different vocabulary words. Good luck.
Yeah. I was so pissed off the entire second half until the final drive.
Yeah.
And even then, I was like, and not until I saw Rocket. I saw Rocket get across the goal line. I was like, no fucking way.
It was incredible. It was beautiful. I loved it. Any huge takeaways, because we do have a action-packed show, but any huge takeaways from that game that the people need to know about?
I mean, the RPO to Simon continues to work.
Yes.
That same play, we keep running it, and it works out a lot. We finally have decided to throw the ball downfield to Harbor, and which amazingly, look what happens when you do that. Yeah,
it works. Turns out throwing the ball to an athletic freak, good idea.
Yeah, it only took us 2 years to figure that part out.
Yeah.
I do love that we're being aggressive to end the half, which is something we've never done before. I'm used to us taking a knee with 2 minutes left in the first.
Muschamp.
Yeah. It's so, yeah. But when you've got guys like Sellers, that can just escape bad plays. He almost fucked up again. But, he's getting better. And for the love of God, can we stop going for it on fourth down when you've already missed 2? You're on a bad run of fourth down conversions. Let's just not go for fourth down on your own 38, I think it was.
And there's no creativity with those fourth down calls either. Just here you go. We're going to be here waiting 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage.
Times. Let's try something else. Get it on the edge, or get, an option read, something. Just put it, you can, they knew what was happening. They knew we were going to just do a quarterback sneak, and that amazingly didn't happen. It confused the refs for a minute. They thought we got it for a minute, but obviously. What else?
I
Special
think
teams was unamazing. What happened to
Yeah.
Beamer Ball? That's the opposite of Beamer Ball. We're doing terrible things. We're trying not to have special teams on the field.
yes.
The takeaway from the defense side is we were getting trashed up the middle on run plays. And
That is a huge problem.
that's
I'm pretty concerned about that.
yeah, that's a little scary because teams haven't done that to us all year. But it seems like we're becoming vulnerable on defense, and that's a little terrifying because that's been our bread and butter all year.
Yeah. But we did win, and we're set up nicely.
Yeah.
And it's been tough since we've been doing this show because obviously you've been a huge fan since the Ace Sanders days. And it's hard being a Gamecock fan because you can go one of two ways. You can be overly positive and delusional, as they call them, the sunshine pumpers.
Yeah.
Or you can have football-related PTSD, which is where I think we are.
Yeah, I can't remember me personally ever being optimistic about this team.
Exactly.
Even when we were winning 11 games a year.
Yeah, so as you can see, I've got something to fix this. I've acquired something, Petey, to help us look at things more positively. Do you know what this is?
An air pump
You can see it is a pump, not an air pump. You can tell by my face. This is the Sunshine Pumper 9000. The good people at the Darla Moore Business School, they came up with this. World-renowned business school. They came up with this. Mm-hmm. They knew it would be hard for fans like you and me to look at things positively, to have our own sunshine to pump. So they said, we're going to give you this. We're going to let you pump it. We're turning over a new leaf here with the captain's log. We're looking towards the positive, and we're going to start by issuing out some apologies. Perhaps we were a little bit too rough. Now we've got all this sunshine. Actually, it's getting to be a bit much, and I don't have sunscreen on, so I'm gonna prepare. So we've got our pumper. Oh God, it's still a prototype. So we've got to issue some apologies to some people.
Yeah.
Petey, if you could give me some music, a little upbeat, since we are more positive now. We've got sunshine coming in, out, and around us at all times. And I will begin.
Here we go.
All right, perfect. To Shane Beamer. Shane, I apologize. We thought that you were unable to put on your big boy pants and make big boy football decisions, but that turns out not to be true. It was correct for you to be loyal to coaches, overly loyal, some might say, coordinators who, why would we do this when they were stinking it up? But you gave them time, you believed in them, you were kind, and it's paying off now. Okay, you were doing your father proud. You're singing to your wife in the locker room after games. You didn't deserve any of these criticisms that I have lobbed your way these years. You are not Will Muschamp 2.0. Your forehead is proportional to the rest of your head and face. And you have an even-keeled, calm demeanor that is becoming of a college football coach. You do not throw tantrums. The tantrums that you do throw are warranted, and you are a gem in post-game press conferences. Shane, please accept this apology.
We apologize, Shane.
We apologize. Clayton White. Oh, buddy. Look. Okay? We were in the crowd against Florida when your defense made Graham Mertz look like Patrick Mahomes. I was waiting at that Bojangles after the game, fueled off of Bowberry biscuits and rage, ready to confront you man to man, but you never showed. Little did I know, you just needed some pass rushers to work with, and you would get things out. yes, you would get things figured out. Yes, it took you a mighty long time to make any adjustments whatsoever. But good things come to those who wait. And you've taught us that, and we judged you harshly, and for that, Clayton White, I apologize.
We apologize, Clayton White.
Yes. Lenoris Sellers, we believed in you, and then we stopped believing in you because you did some goofy shit. But you know what, buddy? That wasn't your fault. You had a terrible optometrist. And I get it. When I wake up before putting my contacts in, I also slide a yard short of first downs and fumble the ball repeatedly and throw it to the other team. But boy, you pop them glasses off, those goggles, and your vision's so clear, so beautiful, so perfect. Lenoris Sellers. Lenoris, we apologize. We believe in you. All right. And finally, Dow Loggins. Dow, all right, I got nothing for you. Keep working at it, and we'll see you next year. Okay. Cut the music. Okay, I feel like now we are ready to continue in a positive light on this show. All right, so the college football playoff rankings came out. I'm going to look them up because, Petey, with this new sunshine of positivity that we've been pumping each other so hard. It's just coming out of our ears. I need you to tell us if we are ranked appropriately and who might we be better than? Who is ranked ahead of us? So, as it stands now, where is it? Okay, perfect. The teams that are getting byes. Now, let's be for real. We're not overdosing on this positivity. You can be a little realistic.
We're gonna have a little some reality in here.
Yeah. So I don't think we will get a bye because you have to win a conference championship to get a bye. So that's going to be pretty hard. Like,
we're not getting a bye.
I mean, the pump's already starting to fall apart a little bit. So there's only so much pumping I can do. I'm starting to chafe. So those first four teams, Oregon, Texas, Miami, Boise State, are we better than those teams getting byes?
It's definitely, I mean, Oregon deserves to be number one.
Yeah.
Texas, the problem with them is they've played such a weak schedule. I think it's like 55th or something like that.
Yeah.
They do have to play A&M. So depending on the outcome of that game will tell us a little more about what they are. They lost to Georgia. Georgia, clearly not the outstanding team we thought they were.
Yeah.
Still, top 10 team, I would say. But, Boise had a fight on their hands this past weekend with San Jose State. So, yeah. And they looked a little, I guess, was it jaunty? How do you think?
Yeah, Ashton Genty, I believe. Yeah.
He looked a little human.
Yeah.
This weekend. I mean, come on, when you are an elite guy and playing in that conference, you should look superhuman.
Yeah.
I can't. I would say definitely we deserve to get in over Boise State.
Yeah.
But they're clearly going to win their conference. So what do you?
And that's one of those quirks too, where a group of five team is going to get in.
Yeah.
That's just how it is, and I do respect that. So hard to argue with that. And then, the other bye, Miami. I don't think that holds up. I think if we played Miami today, I think we beat Miami. I don't know if that's the pump or not.
Yeah, I mean, but Miami, they played the ACC in a not particularly strong ACC schedule. If they lost to Georgia Tech,
Exactly.
It's a decent team. Georgia Tech's a decent team, but I can't say that they've played anybody that's really outstanding.
No.
Yeah, they haven't played Clemson. I don't think they haven't played SMU. I think they played Louisville.
That sounds right. Yeah, I'm just having a real hard time if you're losing to teams who know math as well as they do at Georgia Tech.
Yeah. Granted, it was at Georgia Tech, but so
Exactly. I mean, come on. That's like their equivalent of Vandy.
yeah,
Where Vandy's better than they normally are this year, just like Georgia Tech. But we didn't go up there and lose to them.
right.
That would have been crazy. That would have been crazy.
Yeah.
So those are the bye teams, I believe. And then I'll just go in order of rankings now to see if we're better than teams or not. Penn State would not get a bye because Oregon would get the bye.
Mm-hmm.
Are we better than Penn State? 9-1 Penn State.
Penn State hasn't played anybody except for Ohio State.
Yep.
And I mean, that's the problem with the Big Ten. It's like there's a whole lot of nothing after you get after the first four teams.
Because I did skip Ohio State. They would not get a bye either because of the Boise State quirk, but
they'll have a chance against Oregon again.
Yeah, so that could happen. But I do not think we're better than Ohio State. I could be talked into being better than Penn State.
I could see that happen. I could see us being better than Penn State. I don't have a lot of faith in Penn State, especially on their offense.
It's just what they do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Franklin's a good coach, but he's just not. He's not going to get Penn State to that level.
No. All right. Another Big Ten school. It's amazing how this happens when the conference expands and they don't actually have to play each other.
Yeah.
Undefeated Indiana. They do play Ohio State this weekend. So we're going to find out which one of those teams is a fraud.
Yeah. They've played absolutely nobody.
Correct.
Which is insane. I don't know how you put them. I mean, it's like the same as putting an undefeated MAC team.
Yeah.
Well,
way to go, Toledo.
Yeah.
Silly, ridiculous.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, at this point, Tulane has got a better record, than Indiana. I mean, they at least played Oklahoma. Or I guess they played some ranked teams.
Yeah. So Indiana, I think we could beat Penn State. I think we could beat Indiana. Yeah. Notre Dame.
That's another. I mean, they
might as well be in the Big Ten the way that they fuck around with their schedule.
Yeah. Suppose there's like a soft ACC school, but who have they played they've not played anybody really. They're lost. They beat A&M, right? First week of the year.
And then they lost to Northern Illinois.
Yeah. This is
not even regular Illinois, the northern part of it.
Yeah, I don't have any trust in Notre Dame.
No, ridiculous.
Just the problem is that they've only lost one game, and that's the only reason why they're there. It's not even like they're playing a tough schedule.
No. Okay, Alabama.
I mean, the way we played against Alabama, I'd say we could definitely beat them.
Yeah. Especially if we were to play against them playing the way we are now, I think we beat Alabama.
On a neutral field?
Yeah.
Yes, we went to Alabama, lost by 2, and especially if we are running 2-minute drives like we are now, I say we definitely get in that. We definitely win that game.
Kind of on the flip side of that, we played this team too, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss is the one that they are coming up. They're like us. They're getting better. I definitely think they deserve to be in the playoffs. Probably over Alabama and Georgia. Just they're one of the. I was really high on them beginning to start the season. They're kind of like us. They just they took a minute to figure their shit out.
Yeah,
and now they're coming up. So I would say they're They probably deserve to be in the SEC championship game.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I want to argue against them, but I can't. Like, they're better than us. Georgia, we talked about. It's not the same Georgia that we're used to.
Not the same Georgia, but God, it's hard to really bet against Georgia, against us. They always play us really well.
Yes.
Not that we're playing them, but I think they are still the more rounded team that versus us. They're better on the whole.
Yeah, I do always like my chances against Carson Beck.
Yeah,
because he might just give you the game.
He might hand it to you.
Yeah, but I do think
also so could we.
That exactly. So, and I think like their talent level is like those are all 5 stars all around.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Tennessee, are we better than Tennessee?
Oof. So they beat Alabama. Who was there? They lost to Georgia. And what was the other one? Didn't they have one more loss?
Yes, they do. I got to look it up. But yeah, they just lost to Georgia. My thing with them is that quarterback does not fit with Heupel's schemes, I don't think. Like, normally, he wants to throw the ball down the field a ton, and that's not really how that guy works. So,
I've not watched.
They lost to Arkansas.
What? Oh, man.
I mean, this is making me. Whew.
This makes the resume for Alabama even worse.
Yeah, that's tough.
But Texas didn't blow out Arkansas. It was what, 20-10?
Yeah, so they might be a little tougher. I think Arkansas is good at playing up to their competition.
Yeah, Arkansas is a decent team. They're not upper echelon, but they are a decent team.
So, are we better than Tennessee?
I would. You know what? I would say we're probably even with them.
I think we're right there with Tennessee.
Yeah.
I talked about Boise State, SMU, ACC giant SMU.
I think we destroy SMU.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, they beat Louisville. Are they undefeated?
They've lost 1 game.
Okay.
They are also still SMU. I think that's a big indictment on the ACC that SMU can show up.
SMU can come in the first year and just wreck the house.
Oh, yeah, we belong here.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. They lost to BYU.
Okay. BYU is
So
good.
BYU is next. They just lost to Kansas.
Mm-hmm. It's bad.
Yeah.
This isn't bad. They just can't figure out how to win games, apparently.
Yeah, and they barely beat SMU. It was like 18-15 back when they played at the beginning of the season. But sometimes I look at BYU playing, and I'm like, I don't know if like offense was in the Book of Mormon because
they keep talking about he's the first Jewish quarterback at BYU.
Yeah, BYU they call him. And it's like maybe y'all shouldn't have done that. Maybe
that might not look good in another couple of years.
Yeah, it won't. Well, that'll get pulled. But maybe you're being punished for starting him. I don't know. I have no problem with it. To be clear, we are fine with him being Jewish, but it is funny that the biggest Mormon university has a Jewish quarterback and they struggle offensively. That's fine. There's something amusing about it.
I thought you had to be Mormon to go there.
That's what I thought. So
yeah,
I'm gonna put out a theory, and then we're just gonna move on from this team, and we're just gonna move on.
Yeah,
I think they only want you to convert to Mormonism if you are not white. I think they're like, wait a second, we can't have these black and Polynesian guys in here with their Christianity or whatever, voodoo, whatever they think that black and brown people do. But they're like, okay, you're white. That's kind of the basis of this religion, being white. So you're in.
Yeah.
So that's my BYU theory. I do think we could stand a chance with them.
I think we probably beat SMU and BYU, or really any Big Ten school other than Oregon and Ohio State.
Ohio State, yeah. All right. Now, this one was confusing because I don't know how you're watching this. Don't know we're ranked number 18. Number 15, Texas A&M, who we destroyed.
See, that makes no sense.
I guess they're just doing 2 losses versus 3 losses, but that's crazy.
Yeah, but obviously the rankings they're putting more value on that, the win column versus the quality of competition.
Stupid.
Obviously for us, we should just go and play Georgia State every week.
Yeah, because I don't need the Sunshine Pump 9000 for this. We are better than Texas A&M. I saw us do it. I saw us be better. So we should be ranked ahead of them.
We saw the proof. The proof was there.
Yep, we've settled this already. So whatever. Next up, number 16, Colorado. Deion Sanders.
It's hard for me to bet against Prime, but
yeah, that motherfucker's got a flair for the dramatic, and I respect it. I respect it, but I do think that's one of those schools where you're like,
I haven't really blown anybody out though.
No, and they got blown out. This is why I think we're better than Colorado. We will not lose to a Marcus Satterfield coordinated offense. We will lose as a Marcus Satterfield coordinated offense. We've proven that. They were blown out by Nebraska when they were still letting Satterfield call plays. Now, that was a long time ago. They've gotten better over the course of the season. But I think that right there, I just can't trust it. And I think their offensive line is better than last year, but I think they would have a hard time protecting Shadur against our defensive line.
So they've got Travis Hunter going. It's Travis Hunter, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Going both ways, playing 90 snaps a game.
Yeah, he's playing a shit ton.
It seems to me like that you don't have any depth.
Yeah, are you trying to get killed
the entire way? Eventually your body can't hold up to that.
No, this is football. It's crazy. It's crazy to do that. So, that's ridiculous.
Other playmakers there, but none of them are as good as him.
Yeah,
and that's just not good. Man, I can't see. I don't think they've played really good quality teams either.
No.
Well, consistently.
No.
I think our defensive line just destroys that offensive line. And Shador, obviously Shador is mobile. He can escape just like our guy. But Sellers is just so hard to tackle.
Yeah, Shadur is much, much skinnier than Lenoris is. And I like Kennard and Dylan Stewart versus whatever they have to offer. So we'll find out after this. We'll talk about Clemson, who's number 17, how you feel about them. But if you were to rank us in the college football playoff rankings, we're at 18. We just went through. Where would you put us realistically?
So, obviously you have to put, if A&M is 15, we have to be at least 14. And therefore, ahead of that was SMU and BYU?
Yeah. So I guess if you really want to do,
I think we're going to be 13 or 12. Realistically, that would have to be where you'd have to put us.
You would think so. And it's just I guess the big gap there is BYU and SMU have 1 loss, and it would be crazy to put a 3-loss team ahead of them. But we certainly have to be ahead of a 2-loss SEC team that we blew out. So, yeah, I think at least we got to be 15. I think and I don't even know what we're doing here. If all they're doing is looking at records, then we just need to bring back the BCS computer and we'll just do that again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the computer would have worked if we just had more spots. That people got upset because it was picking 2 people to play each other. We'll let it pick these 12 playoff teams and we'll just live with it. We're turning to AI for everything anyways. This whole episode has been AI. We didn't have to be here to do this. You think I know how to procure a Sunshine Pumper 9000? Petey doesn't even own a guitar. Let the computers pick the teams if all the people are going to be doing is looking at, okay, they have 1 loss, they have 2, and not put any real thought into who is actually better and playing better at the time. That's silly.
Like, I don't think that the committee's actually watching these games.
No, there's no way. There's too many games to watch. You know they're not going back and watching them between Sunday, watching the ones they didn't watch between Sunday and when the polls come out at Tuesday night. Like, they're not watching this. This is just.
Or if they are, they're only watching the highlights. It's not like they're watching the actual game. Like we have to suffer through every week.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You can't do this, you bums. Give us a vote, cowards. Okay. So we are playing Wofford on Saturday, but we've got so much sunshine that we're not worried about it. We're just going to count that as a W. Captain Petey, as a captain does, is setting sail. So he won't be available because we have the Sunshine Pumper 9000 technology, but to get him in the open seas on the show to preview the Clemson game next week is impossible. So we thought we would bring you the earliest Clemson game preview in the history of the world, maybe. So
Prove us wrong.
Yeah. So let's talk about this game. Clemson's number 17 in the rankings. They are 8-2 currently. They're playing nobody this week as well, I believe.
Citadel?
Yep, they're playing the Citadel. So that's actually
football firsthand. I don't know if that qualifies.
Yeah, I think that is the toughest opponent they're playing this year, other than us. So, how are you feeling going into this game? After Thanksgiving, you'll be in the ocean, hopefully alive.
Yeah.
Do we have a chance this year to do it and make an even better case for the college football playoff rankings?
I think we most certainly have a chance. Based on what I saw Clemson do last week against Pitt, they should have definitely lost that game. And if it wasn't for Cade Klubnik,
the fuck was that?
I guess no one thought that he could run. I guess the entire Pitt defense just thought, we don't have to worry about that guy.
It was crazy because they were really good against the run all day, and then they let Klubnik take off for 1,000,000 yards in one play and win it.
Yeah. And then I think they did get close. They almost came back to kick to get in field goal range, but they just were not.
They were incompetent.
And they had a backup quarterback, I think.
Yeah, so he needs to go ahead and remain that.
Yeah. So my problem, I think our defense will definitely be able to handle Clemson's offense. Problem is Clemson has a really good defense.
Yep.
Which will probably give us fits as far as being able to run the ball again. If we can get Sellers on the move and able to extend plays and not be tackled like he's done in the past, I think that gives us a really good chance. Because I don't think Klubnik can't do that. He can't do what Sellers does. We go to Clemson. It's going to be hostile. It's going to be a really tough game. I think it's going to be a close game. I just hope it's not like last year and just a completely disgusting thing to watch offensively.
Yeah, that was pathetic. Yeah. And even when we beat him with Rattler, he was very, very bad that game. And we did beat him. We beat him in Clemson, so clearly we know how to do this.
Yeah, this is not the Clemson that we are of the Clemson of 3 years ago.
Yeah. This is a winnable game. This is a game before the season, even very early on, I probably would have written off, but now we've apologized and everything. Yeah. This is a game I will be disappointed if we lose it. I'll be like, we can beat this team. I've not seen them play a game this year where they looked imposing at all.
No, they lost to Georgia. That's it, right?
Yeah, they lost to Georgia 34-3 to open the season.
Yeah.
Then they lost again to Louisville.
Louisville's not awesome.
No.
They're not fantastic.
And that was at home. They lost that game.
Yeah, Louisville has continued to struggle on offense for some reason all year.
which kind of gives you hope because they put up 33 against Clemson.
Yeah.
So my big concern is stopping Maffa, the running back.
Yeah.
He's really good.
I saw last week getting gashed at the middle on the run game. I'm not optimistic about that.
I think that could lose. If anything's going to lose us the game, it's going to be that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're used to their receivers being spectacular receivers. They haven't had those guys the past couple of years. They've gone to schools that believe in NIL, and so I'm not super concerned about that. I do think our pass rush can bother Klubnik, and he's shown to he'll play stupid sometimes. But it's their running game that really concerns me, and like you said, their defense.
I don't think that they're going to be able to have Klubnik sit back there and for 5 seconds and throw the deep ball.
No,
he's not going to have that kind of time.
No.
What they will do is possibly run it up the middle on us, or get some screen action going and trick us, but. If they consistently are able to run up the middle on us, we'll have a problem.
Yeah. So
it's going to wear our defense down, and we'll get tired of being out there.
Yeah. All right. So we're a little ways out. We don't have a spread on this game. So can the Dolphins instead just predict the final score against Clemson? Can they look into the future?
Or
using artificial intelligence and the Sunshine Pumper 9000 and pump some positivity out of their blowholes and into ours.
I would expect the spread to probably be like 3 points in favor of Clemson. But the Dolphins are telling me to put your money on the Gamecocks, and with a final score of 32-27.
Boom. You heard it here first.
That really doesn't look like a pump, what you're doing. It just looks like something else.
Hey, don't take it up with the Darla Moore School of Business. I didn't make this. What do you think? I just taped some aluminum foil around a basketball pump and then wrote on a Post-it note and then taped the Post-it note to the aluminum foil? That's ridiculous. Yeah. All right. Well, shit, that did it. PD's setting sail. We'll be back after the Clemson game to talk about it. But other than that, have a good Thanksgiving, and we will see you then.
Bye.